Photographers are like snakes. They slither on the ground, trying to escape the wrath of God. Unsuccessfully. They have scaly skin that is repulsive to look at. They're waterproof. Doesn't mean if 5 of them came to me for help, I'd refuse. I'll help them, if you don't mind.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So, against my better judgment, we are on the Nikkor 105mm Tony 2.5 on the Blackmagic OG. It's a roughly almost 190 equiv. It's a bit far, but the cinema could be ours. 12 megapixel global shutter FX3 II. Thoughts? Why not FX4? You know what I mean? I hope they don't do it. The global shutter has only downsides. From what we've seen from the A9 III, it's like APS-C level dynamic range and low light performance is worse. It's much worse. It's a huge compromise for the spec that nobody gives a damn about. Rolling shutter, unless it's so bad, like the Sony A6300 type of thing, where like the readout speed is so bad, and even just standing vlogging, your face is like wiggling, just holding there. But nowadays, most cameras are fine. Fuji's doing like super fast rolling shutter, and Sony A7S III, like we have the speed now. We don't need a global shutter with all the downsides. So if the A7S IV starts going global shutter, who cares? Not one camera have I ever had where I'm like, damn, this rolling shutter. Oh God, I can't whip pan back and forth. You'll crack your neck. And I hope you do. Whenever I get to the rolling shutter test of most reviews and some moron is going back and forth like this, look, you believing this shot is not good. Stop doing that test. It's nothing. Go like on a bus. Sit on a bus for a bit and then film outside, and then if there's poles like that way, okay. I remember doing on my Panasonic G85 in Thailand, going for these visa runs on a 5-hour bus, and I would film some stuff and I was like, oh yeah, that's what rolling shutter is. Sometimes it matters, but nowadays we have the speed, and if you can outrun me, then you can outrun your mom. Casey, what are your thoughts on a Penny 7 to 14mm Tony 4? That's a terrible lens. Wow. I'm surprised anybody still knows it exists. Compared to the Leica 9mm 1.7, are you serious right now? You're trying to compare a Leica Prime with macro capabilities tiny light package versus an old Panasonic Zoom with Tony 4. I shoot travel with 12 to 100. I don't care what you do. You vlog or you YouTube. Why would you be asking me anything else? Like you're a travel photographer? Oh, I'll ask him. I'll know. It's like asking a obese man, how do you lose weight? Will he know? He might. He might get lucky. He could know the theories, but would you trust him first? Unlikely. What about ultra wide? To go with that, not sure if I need the 1.7. Of course you do. For vlogging, you want that separation. 2mm extra reach. Look, dick. The 7 to 14 has to be the worst of all ultra-wide options. Like there was the Leica 8 to 18, much better. You got Leica Pop 2.8 to 4. It's heavier, but you can use filters. The 7 to 14, don't quote me on any of this, but I think you can't even put filters on the damn thing. Like it's so bad, and it's a Tony 4. It's disgusting. Why are you even bringing it up? And then this new Leica, everyone wants that lens. If you're in Panasonic, of course that's the lens you get. Why are you even debating? 1.7 is not the key feature. It's Leica Pop, it's lightweight, and it can do macro like crazy. It's the ultimate thing. And then you stop it down to Tony 4. First, the picture you're gonna get, oh, with the zoom, unbelievable. You know 3D Pop increases the more you stop it down? Just throwing that out there. Like the pop factor alone. And the fact that it says Leica on the glass, even though Panasonic just borrowed the name and Leica did literally nothing. But whatever, man, it says Leica. And that's enough to make it shine. God help us, why? Don't write a book to me. I wouldn't even buy this book on Amazon if it was half off. I have a question for you. Thank you for being here and all this stuff. Fuji X-T30? Who the hell? I want to... Stills our video. Oh God, he talks. Does he not ever talk? You think my audience wants this? Some random guy to just give all his thoughts and not even get to the point? Hypothetical. Wow. Obviously, new lens. Okay, you want a lens? Wow, all that. Sigma 56 1.4, Sirius Sniper 56 1.2, Viltrox 56 1.4, Voigtlander 1.2, first of the three, yeah, we know. Okay, first, your major problem is why the hell is the original Fuji 56mm 1.2 not on your list? That's the best option of all, and you somehow overlooked the only real option. You can find it used, very cheap, not the new weather-resistant one. That's lost its pop and character. You get the original. Is it clunky as hell? The sounds, yeah, but that's magic. That is a magic lens. Fuji has a couple magic lenses. That one, and the 35mm 1.4, and several others. 16mm 1.4, they have a couple. They're old. They do not autofocus well, but that's your problem. You're in Fuji for some reason. You're on an X-T30. What are you even doing? So it's like, of course, you get the Fuji, and then as for your other options, I'll humor you. The Voigtlander, obviously, is your best choice for look. It's going to look amazing. Can you manually focus? Is that X-T30 screen even viable? Is the viewfinder intact? Voigtlander all the way, and then you would go maybe toss up between Sigma and the Sirius Sniper Sui 1.2, but it'll be not as sharp as Sigma. Viltrox is always the last option ever. I have sold my ZV-E10 for a new A6700. 700 versus 1400. Worth it? What do the numbers mean? Did you sell your ZV-E10 for 700 and then paid 1400 for... No one knows. Or were those the original costs? Thanks for the clarity. Of course that's the good thing to do. The ZV-E10 was the least inspiring Sony effort I've ever seen. It's just old technology in a flippy screen camera for vloggers with nothing added that vloggers need. It's the dumbest thing, but could you get by? It's not bad. Tiny? I could do my whole shit. Right now, if I switch to the Sony ZV-E10, you would only see an increase in sharpness, and I could actually move and be in focus somewhat. A6700, now you're Sony A7S III specs in an APS-C body. Of course that was the right thing to do. So like, congratulations. It's a good little camera, I imagine. Don't quote me on it, I've never used it. I don't know what those crops are like. It's like 56% crop on the 4K 120, and you're already APS-C crop on top of it. You're less than Micro Four Thirds, why didn't you get a Panasonic? Oh, what a loser. So, yeah, good job. I moved. Huh? Okay, last question here. 750 got me thinking. Yeah, I remember what I said then and what video that was on. If you could convince Mitsubishi to merge any two camera companies together to make the perfect camera and lenses, what would you go for? Panasonic, Fujikon, Black Manasonic. Black Manasonic, I like that one. Wow, that is a good one. Black Manasonic. Oh, that's for the one I want. If I was to merge two companies, I would hope to take Sony and Nikon. Here at Sonic Nikoni, imagine, just think of it for a second, in remembering that Nikon just bought Red as well, so that's Sony Red Nikon. We have Sony Intelligence autofocus, the brilliance, the speed, the reliance, coupled with Nikon color science. No one ever complains about that. Nikon telephoto lenses and stabilization sync stabe in a Sony algorithm with Red RAW codecs, with super Sony slow motion, we're bringing back the bursts of the 960 frames. And then we have a Nikon Zeiss partnership for the lenses. Can you even screw Sony Zeiss? We're doing Nikon Zeiss now. Are you believing the 3D Pop 900mm prime, 900mm Tony 8, Nikon Zeiss prime for wildlife with sync stabe, in an A7S IV body with Nikon grips and button placement? Sony has almost no input whatsoever in this machine. Just the autofocus, the technology, the reptilian tech. Was I in focus for any of that? I could have been. I think that would be the best partnership. You could do some fringe things like, oh, I want Panasonic stabe with Fuji vintage sims. Shut your mouth. You do something good. Sony Nikon, that could take over the earth. Our flat world could be taken over. How you doing? Nikon. Nikkor. Huh? Little Blackmagic OG update with 960 frames per second. I dig it. I'll leave now. How you doing? The cinema could have been ours. Subscribe for my